Hi, everyone. Welcome to my channel, English Journey Conversation. I'm very happy you're here. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to support my channel. Hello, dear English learners. Welcome to today's podcast episode. I am really excited because we're going to talk about something important, something many of us feel when learning English. Have you ever experienced this? You can understand English very well. You can read books, listen to people, and watch videos without any problem. You know most of the words. You can understand what people say. But when it comes to speaking, everything feels different. You try to speak, but the words don't come out. You feel stuck. You know what to say in your mind, but your mouth doesn't cooperate. If this has ever happened to you, don't worry. You are not alone. Many English learners feel the same way. It can be very frustrating. You may ask yourself, why can I understand English but can't speak it? Here's the good news. Understanding English is already a big success. If you can read and listen well, it means you have a strong foundation. You already know a lot of grammar and vocabulary. Now, the next step is to build confidence and practice speaking clearly. The good thing is you can do it. In this episode, we will cover a few important things. Why some learners understand English but struggle to speak. What causes this problem? Simple tips to start speaking confidently. Whether you are learning English for work, school, travel, or fun, this episode will help you. By the end, you will have a clear plan to improve your speaking every day. So, if you have ever thought, I understand English, but I can't speak it, stay with me. We're going to work on it together. Let me share a real story. Meet Sarah. Sarah had the same problem. She was a fantastic English student. She studied for many years. She understood grammar and knew many words. She could read books in English and watch movies without subtitles. She could understand almost everything she heard. But when it was time to speak English, she froze. She couldn't say what she wanted. One day, we went to a cafe together. I suggested, let's order in English. Sarah smiled and said, okay. But when it was time to speak, she hesitated.
She paused.
The words didn't come out. She was nervous. She felt embarrassed. She thought everyone would judge her English. Sarah's story is very common. Many learners know English in their heads, but struggle to use it in real life. The reason is simple. Speaking is a skill, just like playing a sport or an instrument. You can understand English in theory, but speaking takes practice, confidence, and patience. The good news is you can improve. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to start speaking a little every day. Over time, your brain and your mouth will work together, and speaking will become easier and natural. You will make mistakes, and that's okay. Mistakes are part of learning. The more you practice, the faster you will get better. So today, we will explore easy ways to speak English with confidence. We will talk about small exercises, simple habits, and fun activities that help you start speaking without fear. By the end of this episode, you will have a step-by-step plan to practice English every day, even if you feel shy or nervous. Remember, you already have a strong foundation. Now it's time to unlock your speaking ability. Just like Sarah, you can move from understanding English in your mind to using it in real conversations. Together, we will make it happen. When we got to the counter, Sarah looked at the barista, ready to order in English. But nothing came out. She froze.
She wanted to speak.
She had all the words in her head, but her mouth wouldn't move. She stayed completely silent. Afterwards, I asked her, what happened? Sarah said, I knew what I wanted to say, but I got nervous. I didn't want to make a mistake. I was scared I would sound bad. This happens to a lot of English learners. And the important thing to know is, it's not because you don't know English. You know the words. You understand grammar. You can read and listen just fine. The reason you get stuck is fear. Fear of making mistakes. Fear of sounding wrong. Fear of what others might think. Maybe you've felt the same way. You want to speak English, but you worry about saying something incorrectly. So you stay quiet instead of trying. I want to remind you of something very important. You are not alone. These feelings, being afraid to speak, freezing when it's your turn, getting stuck mid-sentence, are completely normal. I've spoken to many English learners, even advanced students, who feel exactly the same. They can understand everything perfectly, but speaking feels like climbing a huge mountain. And yes, I have felt the same way. I could understand English easily, but when it was time to talk, I would freeze. I know exactly how it feels. Now, let's go back to Sarah's story. At first, she felt nervous and afraid of making mistakes. But slowly, she changed her mindset. She started accepting mistakes as part of learning. And something wonderful happened. She began to improve. At first, Sarah spoke in short and simple sentences, even if they weren't perfect. She practiced speaking with me more often. She joined a small English speaking club. She even talked to strangers in English. She made grammar mistakes, and that was completely okay. Little by little, her confidence grew. She started speaking more and more. Every small step helped her feel stronger. Over time, she became comfortable using English in real situations. Now, Sarah is one of the most confident English speakers I know. She travels the world. She uses English every day. She can speak to anyone, anywhere, without fear. She turned her worry and hesitation into courage and action. Sarah's story teaches us something very important. Speaking English is a skill, not just knowledge. You can know all the words, understand grammar perfectly, and still struggle to speak. That's normal. Speaking takes practice, patience, and confidence. Mistakes are part of learning. Fear is normal, but with consistent effort, anyone can improve. The key is to start small and practice often. Speak a little every day. Join a club or practice with a friend. Talk to strangers when possible. Don't wait to be perfect, just start. The more you speak, the easier it gets. The more you practice, the more your confidence grows. If you have ever frozen while speaking English, remember Sarah. She was once in the same place, nervous, hesitant, afraid of mistakes. But through small steps and consistent practice, she became confident. You can too. Speaking English is a journey, and each small step brings you closer to fluency. Now, you might wonder, how did Sarah become so confident? How did she go from freezing when speaking to using English every day in her career and travels? The answer is simple. She didn't aim for perfection. She practiced, made mistakes, and learned from them. She focused on communication, not perfection. Sarah told me something powerful. The biggest change I made was stopping the need to be perfect. I just started speaking. I focused on communication, not perfection. I'm sharing Sarah's story because you can do the same. Many learners feel stuck just like she did. But with a little practice, a little patience, and a positive mindset, you can become a confident English speaker too. One day, speaking English can feel just as natural as understanding it. Now, you may ask, why does this happen? Why can I understand English but can't speak it? That's a very common question, and the answer is simple. There are a few main reasons this happens. Reason 1. Not enough speaking practice. Many learners spend a lot of time reading, listening, or studying grammar. That's great. It builds knowledge. But speaking is a skill, and skills need regular practice. If you don't speak often, it feels scary or uncomfortable when you try. But the more you practice, the easier it gets. Think about babies. They listen for months before speaking. Then they start speaking little by little, making lots of mistakes along the way. They don't give up, and that's how they learn. You can do the same. Even just 10 minutes of speaking every day can make a huge difference. Talk to yourself, join a club, or find a speaking buddy. The key is to start speaking and do it often. Reason 2. Fear of making mistakes. This is very common. Many learners are afraid to make mistakes. You might worry about saying the wrong word, using bad grammar, or sounding silly. But here's the truth. Everyone makes mistakes, even native speakers. Mistakes are not something to fear. They are your teacher. Each mistake helps you learn, improve, and remember. The problem is when learners let fear stop them. They stay quiet because they don't want to sound wrong. But silence doesn't improve speaking. Speaking does. Mistakes are part of the process. The more you speak, the more comfortable you become, and gradually, you stop worrying about perfection. Sarah's story shows this clearly. At first, she was afraid to speak. She worried about mistakes. But she started small. She accepted mistakes as part of learning. She practiced with friends and clubs. Slowly, she became more confident. Now, speaking English feels natural to her. She communicates easily, travels freely, and uses English in her work and daily life. The lesson is simple. Knowledge alone isn't enough. You need practice and courage. Start small, speak regularly, and don't fear mistakes. Focus on communication, not perfection. Every word you speak brings you closer to confidence. So if you've ever thought, I understand English but can't speak it, remember, it's normal. The solution is practice, patience, and acceptance. Step by step, like Sarah, you can go from fear to fluency. Every time you make a mistake while speaking English, you learn something new. Yes, it can feel scary at first. You might feel embarrassed or nervous, but the only way to improve is to try. If you wait until your English is perfect, you may never start. But if you start now, even with mistakes, you will improve much faster. So here's my advice. Speak. Speak with courage, speak with confidence, and don't worry about being perfect. 1. Don't worry about mistakes. No one expects you to speak perfectly. In fact, the more mistakes you make, the more you learn. Mistakes are proof that you are learning. Each time you speak, you improve. Over time, you will make fewer mistakes. Instead of fearing mistakes, welcome them. They are your teachers, helping you grow and get better every day. 2. Lack of confidence. Sometimes you understand English, but you don't feel brave enough to speak. Confidence is a big part of speaking. You might think, I don't sound good. Other people speak better. What if I make a mistake? But here's the truth. You don't need to sound perfect. You only need to communicate your ideas. Speak more, even if it's just a few words. Each time you speak, your confidence grows. Take small steps, one simple conversation at a time. 3. Speaking feels slow. Maybe you know the words, but when you try to speak, you pause a lot. You can't find the right word, or your mind goes blank. That's normal. Speaking is a real-time skill. You need to think and talk at the same time. If you don't speak often, your brain takes longer to find words. Think about it like this. You know the word apple, but during a conversation, it might take 3 or 4 seconds to remember it. That's okay. The more you practice, the faster your brain will find the words, and your fluency will improve step by step. 4. Fear of not being understood. Many learners hesitate because they worry others won't understand them. But communication is more important than perfection. Even if someone doesn't understand one word, they usually understand the meaning. You can always repeat, explain, or use gestures. The more you speak, the more your listeners will get used to your English, and the less scary it becomes. Remember, fluency does not happen overnight. It grows little by little through consistent practice, patience, and courage. Speak every day, even for a few minutes. Join a speaking club, practice with friends, or talk to yourself at home. Each conversation is a step forward. Mistakes, pauses, and nerves are all part of learning. Don't let them stop you. Instead, see them as signs that you are learning and improving. Focus on communicating, not perfection, and celebrate every small success. With practice, confidence, and courage, Speaking English can become as easy and natural as understanding it. Remember Sarah's story. She started small, made mistakes, practiced every day, and became confident. You can do the same. One step at a time, you will move from fear to fluency, and soon speaking English will feel natural and enjoyable. 4. Fear of not being understood. Some people are afraid to speak because they worry others won't understand them. You might think, my accent is too strong. My grammar is wrong. People won't know what I'm saying. This fear is very common. But here's the truth. You don't need perfect English to communicate. As long as people understand your meaning, you are doing great. Most people don't care about your accent. They will respect your effort. So don't be afraid, just speak. 5. Trouble remembering words. Another common problem is when you understand English but can't remember the right words when speaking. This is called limited vocabulary recall. It happens when you learn words but rarely use them. You might focus a lot on reading and listening but not enough on speaking. To fix this, start using new words out loud. Make short sentences with them. Talk about them in real-life situations. When you practice words actively, they become part of your speaking vocabulary. Think about it. Have you ever learned a new English word but couldn't remember it during a conversation? That's normal. It doesn't mean you don't know the word. It just means your brain needs practice finding and using it quickly. The more you speak, the faster your brain recalls words. Over time, using English becomes more natural and easier. Let's review. Why do some learners understand English but struggle to speak? Here are the most common reasons. Not enough speaking practice. You can read and listen well, but speaking is a skill that needs regular exercise. Fear of making mistakes. Many learners worry about saying the wrong word or using bad grammar. Low confidence. If you don't believe in yourself, it's harder to speak. Speaking too slowly or hesitating. You know the words, but your brain needs more practice to retrieve them quickly. Fear that people won't understand you. Many learners worry about their accent or grammar. Trouble remembering words while speaking. Vocabulary learned but not practiced can be hard to recall in real-time conversations. All of these problems are completely normal. Almost every English learner faces them at some point, even advanced students. The good news is, all of them can be improved with practice, patience, and courage. Start small. Speak a little every day. Accept mistakes as part of learning. Focus on communicating your ideas rather than being perfect. Use new words actively. Practice sentences out loud, and slowly your confidence and fluency will grow. Remember Sarah's story. She struggled at first, froze in conversations, and worried about mistakes. But she started speaking, practiced regularly, and embraced mistakes as part of learning. Little by little, she became confident. She communicates fluently, travels freely, and uses English every day. You can do the same. With small steps, consistent practice, and a positive mindset, speaking English will become easier, more natural, and even enjoyable. All these challenges, fear, hesitation, mistakes, are normal, but they are not permanent. You can overcome every one of them with time, practice, and the right approach. Now, let's talk about the solution. If you want to speak English fluently and confidently, the answer is simple. Speak more often. Speaking practice is the key, and here's why it works so well. 1. Speaking turns knowledge into action. You may spend a lot of time learning grammar, memorizing vocabulary, reading, or listening. That's great. It builds understanding. But just knowing things isn't enough. Speaking lets you use what you've learned in real life. It turns your book knowledge into real communication. For example, you might know food words like bread, rice, and salad. But when you go to a restaurant, you hesitate.
Why?
Because you haven't practiced saying them out loud. Speaking helps you recall words faster, build full sentences easily, and respond naturally in real situations. It connects your brain to your voice, which is a powerful skill. 2. Speaking builds confidence. Confidence is one of the biggest challenges for learners. Even if you understand English perfectly, you may still feel nervous to speak. The good news is, confidence grows with practice. The more you speak, the more comfortable you become. The less afraid you are of mistakes, the more fluent you get. Don't wait until you feel ready. Start now, even with short, simple sentences. Each time you speak, you become a little braver. Confidence doesn't appear in a single day. It grows slowly, step by step. The best way to grow confidence is speaking regularly. The more you speak, the more you hear yourself, the more used you get to making small mistakes, and the more relaxed you feel in conversations. Every time you speak, you learn something new. Every mistake helps you grow. Mistakes are not bad. They are part of learning. If you never speak, you stay in your safe zone. You understand English, but your ability to communicate doesn't grow. But even speaking for 5 minutes a day can make a huge difference. Talk to a friend, a language partner, or even yourself at home. Short practice sessions every day help your brain remember words, form sentences faster, and respond naturally. Speaking practice also trains your thinking speed. In real conversations, you need to think and speak at the same time. The more you practice, the faster your brain finds the right words. Over time, speaking becomes easier, your sentences flow better, and your conversations feel natural. Remember, knowledge alone isn't enough. Reading, listening, and grammar give you understanding, but speaking is what turns understanding into action. Mistakes, pauses, or nervousness are part of the process. What matters is to keep speaking, keep practicing, and accept the learning journey. Step by step, you will notice improvement. Words will come more easily, sentences will flow, and your confidence will grow. Speaking English will gradually feel as natural as understanding it. The key is practice, patience, and courage. Even speaking for just 5 minutes a day can make a big difference. Step by step, you'll feel more comfortable speaking English. One amazing benefit of speaking practice is that it helps you think in English. Many learners first think in their own language, then try to translate into English. This makes speaking slow and difficult. But when you practice speaking regularly, your brain learns to think directly in English. You start building English sentences faster, without translating. This is what fluent speakers do. They think in English, not in another language first. You can do this too. Speak every day, and your brain will get faster and better at it. Speaking also improves pronunciation and fluency. You can read and listen to English all you want, but if you don't practice speaking, your pronunciation may not improve. When you speak, you hear your own voice. You can notice sounds, rhythm, and intonation. You can fix small pronunciation mistakes. Speaking often also helps you become more fluent. At first, you may pause a lot, forget words, or feel nervous. That's normal. But if you keep practicing, your sentences will start flowing more smoothly, with fewer pauses, and you'll speak more naturally and confidently. Another benefit is that speaking improves listening skills. Speaking and listening go together. When you speak with someone, you also have to listen carefully to respond correctly. So, when you practice speaking, you are also training your ears, learning how conversations work, and getting better at understanding native speakers. You hear real English, not just textbook sentences, and you begin to understand how people really talk. Speaking and listening are connected. Just like riding a bicycle, you need both to move forward. Finally, speaking makes you a better communicator. Learning English is not just about memorizing words or grammar, it's about communication. When you speak often, you learn how to express your ideas clearly, share your feelings, give opinions, and respond naturally to others. Good communication isn't about perfect grammar, it's about saying what you mean and being understood. Speaking practice also builds confidence. The more you speak, the more you trust yourself to communicate. Mistakes become less scary, pauses get shorter, and sentences become smoother. Over time, speaking English becomes enjoyable, not stressful. So, if you want to speak English fluently and confidently, the solution is clear. Speak every day, even a little, and practice regularly. Think in English. Listen carefully, pronounce words clearly, and focus on communicating ideas, not perfection. Step by step, you will improve, and speaking will feel natural. Speaking English is not just about knowing words. It's about using those words in real-life situations, understanding others, having real conversations, and connecting with people. The more you practice speaking, the better you get at communicating naturally in English. With practice, you'll learn how to make small talk, ask questions, give your opinion, and have longer conversations. These skills are all important parts of good communication. Speaking also helps you reach your goals faster. If your goal is to speak English fluently, then speaking practice is the fastest way to improve. Of course, reading, writing, and listening are important too. But speaking puts everything together. When you speak, you use words, grammar, and ideas at the same time. This helps you remember new words and grammar more easily, and the more you speak, the faster you improve. You will begin to feel real progress quickly. Why does speaking practice matter so much? It builds confidence, helps you think in English, improves fluency, strengthens your pronunciation, trains your listening skills, and makes you a better communicator. If you want to speak English fluently, speaking must be a regular part of your routine. Don't worry about being perfect, just start. Speak a little every day, and over time it will feel easier and more natural. One of the biggest challenges for learners is fear. Fear of making mistakes, fear of sounding strange, fear of being judged. But here's the truth. Everyone feels this when learning a language. Even advanced learners, even native speakers, get nervous sometimes. You are not alone. So, how can you overcome this fear? 1. Understand that fear is normal. It's normal to feel scared when speaking a new language. Fear is part of learning. It shows that you are growing and pushing yourself outside your comfort zone. Don't fight the fear, accept it. See it as a sign that you're improving. 2. Face the fear little by little. Start speaking in small ways. Talk to a friend, practice with a language partner, or even speak to yourself at home. Each time you speak, you take a small step forward. Over time, fear becomes smaller and confidence grows. 3. Focus on communication, not perfection. You don't need to speak perfectly. The goal is to share your ideas and be understood. Mistakes are normal. They are part of learning. Every time you speak, you learn and improve. When you practice speaking regularly, something amazing happens. Your brain starts to think in English, your sentences flow faster, your pronunciation improves, and your listening skills get stronger. Speaking becomes natural, and you feel proud of your progress. Remember Sarah's story? She was nervous at first, froze when speaking, and worried about mistakes. But she started speaking every day, practiced regularly, and gradually became confident. Today, she communicates fluently, travels the world, and uses English every day. You can do the same. Start small, speak every day, embrace mistakes, and focus on communicating. Step by step, you will overcome fear and become a confident English speaker. Overcoming fear is a big part of learning to speak English. Every time you face your fear and speak, you move closer to fluency. Here are 5 practical steps to help you overcome fear and start speaking confidently. 1. Focus on progress, not perfection. Many learners are afraid to speak because they want to be perfect. But perfect English is not the goal. The real goal is progress. Speak as much as you can and don't worry about mistakes. Mistakes are how you learn. Even native speakers make mistakes. What matters is that you keep trying. The more you speak, the better you get. 2. Start small and build gradually. If you feel nervous, don't try to speak for 30 minutes with a native speaker right away. Start with short, simple exercises. Talk to yourself in English. I'm brushing my teeth now. I will make breakfast. Say your thoughts out loud. I feel happy today because the sun is shining. You can also repeat short phrases from movies, podcasts, or YouTube videos. This helps with pronunciation, rhythm, and speaking naturally. Practice in a way that feels safe and comfortable. You can also speak with a friend or language partner, someone supportive who encourages you. This helps reduce fear and builds your speaking habits step by step. 3. Use positive affirmations. Sometimes, the biggest obstacle is not your English, it's your thoughts. If you think, I can't speak English, you will feel nervous and discouraged. But if you say, I am getting better every day, your mind starts to believe it. These are called positive affirmations, and they help you feel confident and ready to speak. Try saying aloud, I am improving every day. It's okay to make mistakes. I am proud of my progress. Repeat them every morning or before your speaking practice. The more you say them, the more confident you become. 4. Practice in safe places. You don't have to speak in public right away. Start in places where you feel safe and relaxed. For example, talk to yourself in the mirror. Record your voice and listen to yourself. Practice with a friend or language partner. Safe practice gives you the confidence to speak more freely without fear. 5. Make speaking a daily habit. Even short daily practice helps a lot. Speak for 5 or 10 minutes every day. Gradually, you'll feel more comfortable forming sentences, recalling words, and speaking fluently. Every small step adds up. Remember, fear is normal, mistakes are normal, and learning is a process. Start small, celebrate progress, use positive thoughts, and practice in safe places. Over time, fear fades, confidence grows, and speaking English becomes easier and more natural. You can also join a group of learners at your level. Everyone in the group understands your fears because they feel the same way. This is a great way to support each other and grow together. 6. Learn from feedback, not criticism. Sometimes we worry about what people will think if we make mistakes. But correction is not a bad thing, it's a gift. If someone corrects your grammar or pronunciation, they are helping you improve. Mistakes are normal. Don't feel embarrassed. Stay open-minded, learn from your mistakes, and keep speaking. Feedback helps you grow faster than working alone. 7. Create a speaking routine. If you only practice once in a while, speaking will feel scary. That's why a routine is so helpful. Try to speak every day, or at least several times a week. Even 5 or 10 minutes a day makes a big difference. Here are some simple ideas for practice. Talk to yourself about your day. Practice short conversations with a friend. Use apps or online tools with speaking exercises. The more often you speak, the more natural and easy it will feel. 8. Remember the bigger picture. Sometimes you may feel you're not good enough to speak English. But you don't need to be perfect, you just need to keep going. Ask yourself why you are learning English. Maybe it's to travel, meet new people, grow in your career, or enjoy new opportunities. Keep your goals in mind. Let them inspire you, not scare you. Speaking English opens doors and gives you new opportunities. Don't let fear hold you back. Almost every English learner feels afraid to speak at some point, but with time, patience, and regular practice, it gets easier. Here's a quick reminder of the key points to overcome fear and build confidence. Fear is normal. Everyone feels it. Focus on progress, not perfection. Mistakes are part of learning. Start small. Build your confidence gradually. Use positive affirmations. Say things like, I am improving every day, or mistakes help me learn. Practice in safe environments. Talk to yourself, record your voice, or practice with supportive friends. Learn from feedback. Corrections help you grow. Set a speaking routine. Speak every day or several times a week, even a little.
Stay motivated.
Remember your goals and why you are learning English. When you follow these steps, fear becomes smaller, confidence grows, and speaking English becomes more natural and enjoyable. Step by step, day by day, you move closer to your goal, speaking English fluently, clearly, and confidently. Speaking English is not about being perfect. It's about communicating, practicing, and enjoying the process. Keep going, don't give up, you are making progress every day. Here are 8 practical tips to help you speak English with more confidence and fluency. 1. Speak every day. Even a little practice each day is better than long sessions once a week. Speak for 5 to 10 minutes daily. You don't need a partner at first. You can talk to yourself. Describe what you are doing or say your thoughts out loud in English. For example, I am making breakfast, or I feel happy today because the sun is shining. Making speaking a daily habit will help you improve steadily. 2. Find a speaking partner. Talking with someone is one of the fastest ways to improve. You can practice with a friend or family member, join a language exchange, or use apps like Tandem or HelloTalk to find partners online. Choose someone patient and supportive. When speaking is fun, you will want to do it more often. 3. Listen and repeat. Imitate native speakers. Watch movies, shows, or listen to podcasts in English. Then repeat what you hear. Try to copy their pronunciation, rhythm, and tone. This technique, called shadowing, helps you sound more natural and fluent. 4. Learn phrases, not just words. Words are important, but phrases help you speak more naturally. Full expressions make it easier to communicate clearly. For example, instead of learning only the word happy, learn, I feel on top of the world. Read, listen, and write down new phrases, then use them in your own sentences during conversations. 5. Record yourself speaking. Recording yourself may feel strange at first, but it works. Speak for 1 or 2 minutes, then listen to your pronunciation, pauses, and tone. Notice what you can improve, then record again. This helps you track progress and gain confidence. 6. Practice speaking in real situations. Whenever possible, try to speak English in real life. Order food, ask for directions, or chat with strangers. Real conversations help you think in English, recall words faster, and improve fluency. 7. Don't fear mistakes. Mistakes are a natural part of learning. Each time you make a mistake, you are learning something new. Speak freely, and remember that people will respect your effort, not judge your errors. 8. Be patient and consistent. Fluency doesn't come overnight. Improvement happens step by step. Speak regularly, practice daily, and celebrate small victories. Every time you speak, your confidence grows, your pronunciation improves, and English starts to feel natural. Remember, learning English is a journey. Focus on progress, not perfection. Speak every day, practice in safe environments, use phrases, repeat after native speakers, and learn from mistakes. Over time, you will find that speaking English becomes easier, more confident, and enjoyable. You'll be surprised how much better you get over time if you practice regularly. 6. Think in English. Many learners translate from their first language, which makes speaking slow and difficult. Train your brain to think directly in English.
How?
Name things around you in English. Describe your actions out loud. I am brushing my teeth, or I am making breakfast. Answer simple questions in English in your head. It takes practice, but over time, thinking in English helps you speak faster and more naturally. 7. Use language learning apps. Apps like Duolingo, Babbel, and Rosetta Stone can help with vocabulary, pronunciation, and sentence building. Some even have speech recognition to give feedback on your pronunciation. Apps are great for daily practice, but don't rely on them alone. Also, try to talk with real people whenever you can. Real conversations help you use English in practical situations. 8. Speak slowly and clearly. You don't need to speak fast to sound fluent. In fact, slow and clear speech is better for communication. Take your time, think before speaking, and focus on pronouncing words clearly. Breathe, relax, and don't rush. People will understand you better, and you'll feel more confident. Final tip: keep it simple and keep going. Don't worry about being perfect. Focus on progress, not perfection. Practice a little every day. With time, your speaking will become smoother, stronger, and more natural. Listening is one of the most important skills for speaking English. When you listen to native speakers, you learn pronunciation, intonation, sentence structure, vocabulary, and culture. All of these make your English sound more natural. One, pronunciation and intonation. Listening teaches you how words are pronounced and how sentences rise and fall. This is called intonation. For example, when we ask a question like, "Are you going?" our voice rises at the end. Listening helps you feel these patterns naturally. You learn the rhythm and music of English, which makes your speech sound smoother and more natural. 2. Understand sentence structure. By listening to real conversations, you learn how English sentences are built. You see which words go where, how questions are formed, and how native speakers connect ideas. This helps you make your own sentences more easily and correctly. 3. Grow your vocabulary. The more you listen, the more words and phrases you learn. You'll hear everyday expressions like, "How's it going?" and emotional phrases like, "That's amazing." Listening exposes you to words used in real life, giving you a bigger vocabulary to use when speaking. 4. Learn culture and natural language. Native speakers use idioms, slang, and cultural expressions like "break the ice," "what's up," or "make a toast." Listening helps you understand these phrases so you can use them yourself. This makes your English sound more natural and helps you connect better with native speakers. Listening is one of the most powerful ways to improve your English speaking. When you listen carefully, your brain starts connecting the sounds you hear with the words you speak. Over time, this helps you speak more fluently, naturally, and confidently. The key is to practice listening and speaking together. One simple method is listen and repeat. First, listen to English carefully. This could be a podcast, YouTube video, or even a TV show with subtitles. Pay attention to how words are pronounced, the rhythm of sentences, and how speakers connect words. After listening, repeat what you hear out loud. Try to copy the words, the intonation, and the way the speaker links sentences. This practice is sometimes called shadowing. It trains your ears to hear English naturally and your mouth to speak it smoothly. Recording yourself is another helpful tip. Use your phone or computer to record your voice while repeating what you hear. Then, compare your recording with the original. Ask yourself, are my words pronounced clearly? Does my intonation rise and fall like the speakers? Which words do I need more practice with? This way, your brain, ears, and mouth all start working together. It's not about speaking fast. It's about speaking smoothly, clearly, and naturally. Smooth speech comes from listening to how native speakers talk. They rarely speak in long, grammar-heavy sentences. Instead, they use short phrases, link words together, and speak in connected speech. For example, the sentence, "Do you want to go to the park?" often sounds like, "Do you want to go to the park?" in real life. Listening to these patterns helps you start using them naturally in your own speech. Listening also helps with one of the biggest challenges learners face: fear of speaking. Many students feel nervous and think, "What if I make a mistake?" Or, "What if I sound silly?" The truth is, everyone makes mistakes, even native speakers. They don't stop talking. They correct themselves and continue. When you listen to real conversations, you'll notice how normal mistakes are. You'll see how people correct themselves casually, without worry. This helps you relax and feel confident when it's your turn to speak. Another benefit of listening is that it helps your fluency and rhythm. Your brain starts predicting patterns in sentences and recalling words faster. When you practice regularly, you'll notice that speaking becomes easier, your words flow more smoothly, and your confidence grows. Listening also teaches you new expressions, vocabulary, and ways to respond naturally in conversations. To make listening effective, try these tips. Listen daily, even 10 to 15 minutes. Repeat phrases out loud, copying the pronunciation and rhythm. Record yourself and compare with native speakers. Focus on connected speech and natural phrases. Listen to mistakes being made and corrected. This helps reduce fear. Remember, listening and speaking are a team. Listening gives you the foundation, and speaking builds on it. When you do both regularly, your English improves step by step. Mistakes will happen, but that's part of learning. The more you listen, the more relaxed, fluent, and confident you become. With consistent practice, speaking English will feel natural, comfortable, and even fun. Listening is a key part of improving your English speaking. The more you listen, the better your speaking becomes. Listening shows you that speaking doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be real, natural, and understandable. Here are some practical tips you can start using today to improve your listening and at the same time your speaking. 1. Listen to different types of English. Don't stick to only one source. Try podcasts, movies, TV shows, news, interviews, or audiobooks. This will help you understand different accents and types of English. You'll hear formal English, like in the news, and informal English, like in conversations between friends. Real-life English sounds different from textbooks, so listen to real situations. 2. Start slow if you're a beginner. That's okay. You can begin with English learning podcasts, slower YouTube videos, or audiobooks made for learners. These are easier to understand and help you hear every word clearly. As you get better, you can move on to faster native speaker content like movies, TV shows, or casual conversations. Don't rush. Take your time and listen carefully. 3. Use subtitles or transcripts. This helps a lot. First, try listening without subtitles. Then, listen again with subtitles or read the transcript. You'll start matching what you hear with how words are written. This also helps you understand how words are really pronounced and which words you missed the first time. Subtitles make listening easier and faster for beginners. 4. Listen actively, not passively. Don't just hear English in the background. Focus on the speaker's voice, tone, and emotion. Notice where they pause, how their voice rises and falls, and how they stress words. Try to copy this when you speak. This will help you sound more natural and confident. Active listening trains your ear to notice the rhythm and flow of English. 5. Listen to real conversations. People in real life don't speak like textbooks. They use short phrases, slang, idioms, and everyday expressions like, "No way, you got this," or "What's going on?" Listen to casual conversations, interviews, and daily life discussions. This teaches your brain how English really sounds and prepares you to speak naturally. 6. Combine listening and speaking. Listening and speaking work together like a team. When you listen, your brain learns vocabulary, sentence patterns, and pronunciation. When you speak, you practice using what you hear. The more you do both, the faster you improve. Listening helps you recognize real English, and speaking helps you use it confidently. 7. Practice repetition. After listening, repeat what you hear. Say it out loud. Copy the rhythm, intonation, and words. Record yourself and compare it with the original. Notice what sounds different. Repeat until it feels natural. This connects your ears and mouth, making speaking smoother. 8. Be patient and consistent. Improvement doesn't happen overnight. Even 10 to 15 minutes of focused listening every day can make a huge difference. Over time, your brain will start thinking in English, your vocabulary will grow, and speaking will become easier. Mistakes will happen, but listening often reduces fear and builds confidence. By following these tips, you'll notice that your speaking improves naturally. You'll speak with more confidence, sound more fluent, and understand real English better. Listening is not just about hearing. It's about training your brain, improving pronunciation, learning real phrases, and feeling confident when you speak. Listening and speaking go together. When you listen to real English conversations, you learn how words sound, the rhythm of sentences, the tone of voices, and the expressions people use. When you speak, you use what you learned from listening in your own conversations. Doing both regularly helps you feel more confident, speak more naturally, and understand English better. At first, speaking may feel hard. Listening may feel confusing. That's normal. Learning a language takes time. Every word you speak and every sentence you hear is helping you improve. Mistakes are part of learning. They help you grow. Don't be afraid of making them. Every small step forward matters, and it brings you closer to fluency. Fluency doesn't happen overnight. It's a journey. Keep practicing every day, even if it's just a few minutes. Speak to yourself, describe what you're doing, or repeat sentences from movies, podcasts, or videos. The more you practice, the more natural speaking will feel. The more you listen, the easier it will be to understand and remember English. Be patient and stay positive. Celebrate your progress. Each day you practice, your brain connects what you hear with what you speak. This makes your English faster, smoother, and more confident. Listening helps your pronunciation, rhythm, and understanding. Speaking gives you a chance to use vocabulary and grammar in real life. Together, they build your skills step by step. Here are a few final tips to make progress faster. Make listening and speaking daily habits. Even 10 to 15 minutes a day can help a lot. Consistency is more important than long sessions. Focus on progress, not perfection. Don't worry about mistakes. Communicating your ideas clearly is more important than being perfect. Repeat and practice. Listen to short clips, then repeat what you hear. Record yourself and compare with the original. This improves pronunciation and fluency. Use what you learn in real situations. Talk with friends, language partners, or even yourself. Try using new words, phrases, and expressions in your own sentences. Stay motivated. Remember your reasons for learning English: travel, work, friends, or personal growth. Let these goals inspire you, not scare you. Every small practice matters. The more you listen, the more naturally you will speak. The more you speak, the more confident you will feel. Keep going, keep practicing, and trust yourself. You are improving every day, even if it doesn't feel obvious at first. Fluency is built one word, one sentence, and one conversation at a time. Your English can get better every day. Make listening and speaking part of your daily routine. With patience, effort, and consistency, you will become a confident and fluent English speaker. Remember, every step counts, and you have what it takes to succeed. Keep listening, keep speaking, and enjoy the process.